Today we're diving into the Beyerdynamic MC930, a matched stereo pair that might just be your new favorite weapon for acoustic instruments, room miking, and more. But how do these little tiny small diaphragm condensers stack up against other small diaphragm condensers that are like 1/5 the price? Let's take a listen. Yeah, these are great sounding microphones. Just a little bit of disclaimer, this video is going to be a lot of praise. Now, Beyerdynamic did send me these microphones. They didn't tell me what to say. They didn't give me any marketing notes or anything. They just said, have fun with them. But I will say, holy crap, the first time that I plugged these microphones in, I was absolutely blown away by kind of like how produced they already sound. It's a really it's a tough thing to articulate. I've got that in my notes here that it's a produced sound. And I'll elaborate a little bit more on that in just a minute. Those are crazy microphones. Holy crap. The other day I went to my friend's church. We recorded some grand piano. Let's take a listen to that. All right, I just made it to my buddy's church. Pretty excited. We're gonna be in a big live room recording some grand piano. I'm gonna try a couple different positions. So like close mic, kind of like maybe a couple different close mic positions. And then I wanna try them as room mics as well, because I think that they'll perform really well for that. So I'm stoked to go inside. My buddy's a killer piano player, so stoked for you guys to hear this as well. Let's go nerd out, have some fun, and play with some microphones. Do you consent to be video recorded?
No.
No? That sucks.
Anyway.
We'll see you later, man.
So it was a long drive to say no. Go ahead.
Yeah. Nice. How'd that go?
This is my friend Randy.
How's it going? Good. How are you doing?
He's the priest here now.
Oh, so nice to meet you. Oh yeah, girl. That's gonna be great. I'll figure it out somehow. I might do, what do you think I should do? Space pair?
What do you mean?
What should I do with my life? I don't know if I like how malady that one's gonna be. All right, so let's, what do we got going on here? Let me zoom this out. Woo. Okay, recording directly into the Mix Pre 6 here, channels 1 and 2. And we're just doing a space pair here. So I'm gonna try this out first, and we're just gonna record a little sample and then pop that into Isotope so we can take a listen. Man, sometimes I forget how loud piano is. Mm-hmm. Like, it is loud.
Very loud. There's a lot of sound.
Give us a little, just a little squirt.
A little squirt.
Hell yeah. Don't think that that Willy Wonka got past me either. For whatever reason, someone played it in a song in theater, and then it became a thing where like all of us would try to put Pure Imagination into every single thing that we record.
And I think it's because like our friend Mark Payne did it all the time in
All
his
the time.
arrangements. So then we started putting it in every
Yeah, I ended a song on double bass doing it one time, but it's like major 7-1, major 7-1, and then you end on 5, which is terrible for ending on a song on bass.
Very bad. Oh yeah.
That was exactly it.
Nice.
It's terrible. All right, sick. Can I try them as room mics too?
Yes.
Okay, that would be dope.
You can.
All right, thanks. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, here's the setup we're rocking right now. We got a little XY pair. They're pretty XYE.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna call this 8 feet, maybe 6 feet, you know?
Yeah, that's it, like 6.
I'd say it's more like 6 inches.
Yeah, this is like a normal average size. Right?
Totally
It's
average.
Like a normal average distance. Right
Average
there.
distance right there.
Yeah.
It's okay. I think that's everything.
Cool.
I think it's all we need.
Great.
But thank you so much, Mr. Alex. Hit up Alex on Instagram. I'm gonna link his Instagram down in the description below. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Oh man, listening back to those clips, like they just sound huge. Let me tell you about what I meant about the scooped sound. So the documents that come with the microphone, for context, I've never read, the frequency response charts and stuff that come with microphones. I tend to not read those just because it's like, it's I don't know. It feels like so irrelevant to how it sounds. You should just use your ears when you're buying a microphone. These sound to me like a little bit scooped. When I played them on acoustic guitar for the first time, they have like a little bit of that mid-range kind of pulled out. It sounds to me like a little bit like how I would want these to sound when I mix them in with an album. That's kind of what I mean about that produced sound. Now, the microphones do include a 15 dB pad, as well as a roll-off. And the roll-off is a 6 dB per octave at 250 hertz. Okay, so it's pretty high up in terms of 250 hertz, but it's very gentle at 6 dB per octave, so it's a pretty flat slope. It's not too aggressive. I was curious about the noise performance on these because small diaphragm condensers, by the way they're built, tend to be the most noisy type of microphone. So let's check out the noise. Let's go down to my wife's Studio Bricks and we'll do some noise examples, and I'll show you that in post here. This is a Studio Bricks isolation booth, which is like 37 decibels of acoustic isolation from external noises. So it is eerily quiet in here. I've got the microphone set up about 9 inches from my mouth, directly on axis. And what I'm gonna do is talk into the microphone for 30 seconds to a minute or something like that. And then I'm gonna record some silence. Then I'm gonna take the audio file, put it into Isotope, and normalize the entire file to negative 23 LUFS. Then I'll analyze the section of the silent portion. Now in my testing, these silent sections with the MC930 came out around negative 60 decibels, which I'd say is pretty on par with the higher budget microphones that I've tested on this channel. If we compare that to the Universal Audio SP1s, they came out at negative 44, so almost 15 decibels more noise in the SP1s than in the Biodynamic MC930. So these are pretty quiet microphones, especially for being small diaphragm condensers. Now, while we have the microphone set up in the vocal booth, let's test out female voice in like a voiceover application. My wife is a voice actor. That's what she does for a living. So we're gonna test out this microphone against her mic, which is the AKG P420, and just take a listen to how they kind of stack up against one another.
Octopuses have 3 hearts, and 2 of them stop beating when they swim, which is why they prefer crawling instead of swimming to save energy. Octopuses have 3 hearts, and 2 of them stop beating when they swim, which is why they prefer crawling instead of swimming to save energy.
Come on in.
Am I supposed to sit?
Yeah, put these on your head.
Okay.
Okay, this is a test. This is to see how she likes the sound of her mic versus the MC930s. What do you think?
They sound very similar. I feel bad I don't have much of an opinion.
That's okay. You want to listen on speakers? Listen on speakers.
Yeah,
Okay, we're
let's
listening
do
on
that.
speakers now.
Let's do that. Like,
They're very similar.
this one is 1% more like sibilant.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
That's the takeaway.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you're dismissed.
All
Thanks.
right, bye.
Okay, another test that I thought that we could do is MC930 versus Rode NTG3. All right, this is a sample with the NTG3. I have my gain set to plus 42, and it is right here. You can see where my thumb is. That's where the microphone is. And I'm just gonna do a little bit of axis, kind of just moving around so you can get a sense of like what it would be. I'm not gonna go like 90 degrees off axis because that's not very normal, but this would sort of be like a normal a talent who's a little hot in their seat. They want to move around a little bit. And this is the Biodynamic MC930. Oh, my wife is doing stuff in the kitchen. Maybe you could hear that, maybe you can't. I have the gain set to 41, plus 41 on my Mix Pre 6, and this is sort of the moving off axis here. So this would be a talent who's a little too restless and wants to wiggle around. And this is moving around with a cardioid small diaphragm condenser microphone. The Biodynamic MC930. Because you've outgrown that Blue Yeti covered in Cheeto dust. It's time for something that actually sounds professional. Yeah, I think they sound pretty good for dialogue. I don't know that I would reach for them for dialogue, just having other options. But I mean, if this was all you had, I think they sound really quite flattering. They do say on their website, they have like a booklet that shows what these mics are good for. And voice was not one of the things that they checked off, even though I think they perform pretty well, but definitely a really good instrument microphone. So let's try them out on a few more instruments so you can kind of hear how they sound. I mean, to wrap it up, I'm curious to know what you think. I would love it if you would write down in the comments your thoughts on how they performed on various instruments. I'm trying to articulate this in a video and it's very difficult too, but the first time that I plugged them in, I had one of those like, whoa moments where I stopped playing and I'm like, is this right? Like these sound really, really nice. And I'm not just trying to like hype this for the video. There's nothing like that. I'm trying to be super transparent with you. Something that I like to do is check my bias when I'm recording with different microphones. And by that, I mean like, I used to use the Peluso, the CEMC6s, which you saw on the acoustic guitar tests earlier. And I used those in my studio for like 10 years almost. And I loved them. Then I shot them out directly against these. And in 2 different applications, I preferred this microphone. I think there is a time and place for the Peluso still, even though my bias has shifted towards these. I think the Pelusos are a little bit more like chimey, kind of in that mid-range. I always want to refine my bias. I would also like to test these out against the Neumann KM184s, which I don't have access to, but I would love to shoot them out against them because I think these are really sort of hitting in that same ballpark. If I had to find one weakness of these microphones, because I do like to give you guys the strengths and the weaknesses, it's that in the shock mounts, they're like a plastic threaded insert on the inside of there. And it's not a huge deal, but like this one has one of these things completely stuck inside of it. And Alex and I, when we were recording piano, spent like, I don't know, 10 minutes trying to get this thing out and absolutely chalked it up. So I worry about this being like a plastic threaded thing on the inside that eventually it's going to strip. It hasn't happened yet, and I can't really speak for it in terms of longevity because I haven't used them enough, but I don't know. That's just the one thing that kind of felt a little bit cheap to me. Other than that, like a really nice carrying case, comes with the windscreens on there. So ultimately, who are these for? I think that these are best for people who are looking to get into having a nice set of small diaphragm condensers. Maybe you're coming from something like the SP1 or the ART microphones or the Lewitt microphones, something a little bit cheaper, and you want sort of a end game stereo pairs. If I had just this stereo pair for the rest of my life, I would be stoked. I'm gonna call it right now. These are like top 5 microphones for me. I said that about the M201. So Biodynamic is absolutely slaying with these microphones. I'm super stoked to try these on some more things. Endgame microphones right here. Yeah, hope this is fun. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments. I will answer everything that you write down there, even if it's not about these microphones. If you just want to know about like cheese, I'll tell you my favorite cheese. So it's Manchego, by the way. Manchego.